told you he was coming back. I told you. And I had so many people say, Andres, he's never coming back. Well, guess who's laughing now? I am! Me! Ha! 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 Ha. We are talking about KSI's boxing return. You've all seen the clip, so I'm not going to even play it for you again, but I will play that clip while I am talking. We got the title of the promotional company, which is called Misfits Boxing. So obviously we do not have a confirmed opponent, nor a venue. However, I'm very confident that Alex Wassabi is going to be fighting KSI in August of this year. I don't know who else it could be, but whomever it is, it's probably not going to be someone that he has a high chance of losing at. And that's to be expected. This is to get off the dust. This is to sharpen the tools again, to get used to the walk, the camp, the fight night. This is just part of that. KSI said that, what I like about KSI when he talks about the Alex fight, is he knows I'm gonna win. That's not him being cocky, that's fact. You know, Alex will get knocked out in probably one round and get a knockout in case I will score a knockout. But he's treating it as a warm-up fight, as a way to get his feet wet again. And if Jake Paul did something like that, well then maybe people wouldn't criticize him as much. Because KSI and Jake Paul are fighting mere weeks apart. So we're gonna have two big fights. And people are saying this could perfectly set up KSI v Jake Paul for December. That should not happen. Here's what should happen. KSI should fight Wassabi, right? Even though I think it's not a fight that makes sense, and I'd rather see him fight someone even like Dylan Dennis, who, yes, you could say is at the same level of boxing as a Wassabi, but it's just a more exciting name and a bigger opponent. After he beats Alex, he's going to look like Floyd Mayweather. He's going to. And it's going to be like, Jake, you have no chance. That's how people are going to react to said fight. But we're not going to actually know how good KSI is, how much he's improved, how much he can take. Because he won't be in a competitive, challenging fight. He'll be in a bum fight. He's in a fight to look really good. And he's going to get a big knockout, and he's going to look amazing. He's going to look like he improved tenfold. But in reality, he isn't. He's not. Because he's not facing someone that's on his level, who's trained for the same amount of years as him, who could compete with him. Alex can't compete with KSI. He's just fighting him. Big difference. You know, Jake and Tyron were competing. You know, Jake and Ben were, fighting. So there's that aspect to it. I think KSI should have two fights before Jake Paul. And they should be, probably an MMA guy and then a real boxer. Because if Jake fights Tommy Fury in August and beats him, then Jake's on another level to KSI. Now, let's say he's losing that fight and then he just scores a lucky punch. Different story, because then you're like, well, they can still have a competitive fight. But I think that, it all depends really on who Jake fights next and if he beats them. And if they're a real boxer. Because then KSI's going to have to raise the stakes even more. But by having more fights, you give Jake more fights, you give him more time, and you give yourself less likely of a chance to win. And again, this is all KSI's fault because, again, I think he took way too much time off boxing. I think the fight should have happened a long time ago. So if he does lose, which there was a good... I mean, he is as likely to get knocked out and lose to Jake Paul as I am to dying. Like, it's gonna happen. We're all gonna die. So it's pretty much gonna be guaranteed, right? I guess death is kind of guaranteed. It's not guaranteed, but it's very possible. So I do think KSI needs these warm-up fights, and I hope we get sparring footage, and we can finally put to rest the narrative that KSI just knows how to swing like a windmill, and hopefully we can see him come back with better technique and prove the haters wrong. And the big thing that I want to say is the big difference between KSI and Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, any of Jake's opponents, even Tommy, is these guys have accomplished backgrounds. They are respected beforehand. And yeah, they lost to a YouTuber, but they have all these belts and these accomplishments, and they're in the Hall of Fame, and he's a Fury. KSI's a YouTuber. He loses a boxing fight, he's clowned on for the rest of his life. His legacy, how we perceive him, his perception is gone. It's changed. No one will take him seriously anymore. Like, there was so much at stake for both Jake and KSI. Like, I don't think you guys know how big this fight is. And I know people are like, oh, we're not going to be hyped. You're going to be hyped. It's going to probably be the biggest pay-per-view in YouTube boxing history. And it will probably be in the biggest arena. And y'all will be there, as will I. This fight is about legacy. It's about who is the best. It's crowning who is the YouTube boxing king. That's what it's about. And if Jake loses, it's just as equally as bad. Because if he loses to KSI, he's done. He gets KO'd, he's done. He will be outed. Imagine he beats a boxer, but he can't beat KSI, the FIFA YouTuber. If that's just not going to be the most embarrassing thing, I don't know what is. So that's the video. Like, sub, and comment, and I cannot wait to see KSI fight this August. Peace.